just had a big block garage sale a couple weeks ago, and it was so cool. And a section of the neighborhood is kind of older, and it was a really large this side of the block. This was the house I bought was the original farmhouse for the area, and there were some original frames that were still up in the attic that I don't know how old they are, but they're pretty old. That are just so unique that you don't see those today. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and traveling around, it was a very industrial area, and they built kind of like the old like coal mining towns where they built homes for the miners. It was the same
Yeah.
thing in this area. It was very industrial, and they built homes for the workers for the EJ company. Uh, EJ's was a like a shoe manufacturer, and it was really big in this area. And IBM started here, and the same for a specific camera that I can't remember off the top of my head, just because. But they used to make cameras here, but uh, a lot of the old frames from back in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s uh, came around, and I actually bought four of them, and they're actually just in the other room right here because I want to desperately do something with them because they're
Mm-hmm.
just too gorgeous in their own right to just rot in an attic somewhere.
I
You know,
completely agree. And I've been the small vintage ones. I hoard those for years. I'm like, I'll paint them later. I'll figure it out, but I can't let it go by. I can't let it just die here, on the vine. It's just too nice a piece. Some craftsman spent time. It deserves to be saved,
yeah,
repurposed.
absolutely. It's amazing what you do
That's
too.
cool.
Do you? I know you put them together. Do you like you were talking about the wing frame that you did? Do you do that a lot where you incorporate different pieces from other frames? Maybe something from this frame into this one to try and bring a certain feel into the story of that piece.
I won't bring any pre-made frames into another frame I'm making. I make everything custom for that frame. I will get, I will hunt down clavos and metal hardware, iron hardware. I'll hunt that down. I don't make, I don't forge. It has to be a line somewhere. I
That's
know.
it's coming
You
down the
don't
line.
blacksmith? What? This is ridiculous. I want
I
my
could,
money back.
I could be crappy at it, so maybe I'll get into it. Uh, but I think I like to build everything custom for those bigger pieces. So sometimes it's painting. Like I did a car piece years ago, and I painted all the logos like it was on the back of a speedway. They have all the logos on the wooden, wall or on the outside. Well, I painted all the logos, and then I sanded it all down. And maybe you saw like shadows of logos or bits and pieces, but the wood looked exactly in my mind how a labeled race wood wall would look 60 years after the racetrack closed. Sometimes it's just layers of age. I use new wood that I'll age. I use reclaimed wood if I have to get some of that beautiful veining and wormholes that you can't fake. So it depends what the piece is with what kind of technique I use, but it's always built from scratch.
Gorgeous. I
Nice. Yeah,
absolutely love it.
it's really fun. Like again, buildings. I had one of the astronaut piece. I have an astronaut who's basically a U.S. astronaut. He's stabbing a Russian astronaut in
Space
space.
race.
Yeah, space race, exactly. Building that frame, which looks like a shuttle door. I mean, I had people ask me like, "Where did you like? Is there like a clearance place you can get aircraft parts?" I'm like, they don't sell shuttle doors to people. This isn't. This is. I built this, but that's fun to me. Like, if I had to build this with my supplies. I mean, I have Home Depot. I don't have any special aircraft outlet. So it's kind of building those moments and capturing that to me, where someone goes, "Wow!" Like that's the wow moment that just goes hand in hand with the painting. If you like skulls, then a weird, crazy frame around it's only going to make it feel better for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you get a lot of it sounds like you get really excited, like there's a lot of like joy when you're putting these frames together, like it's
Oh,
just one of those interests, like, oh, this is gonna be good, and just trying to tie it around, like I know you said it earlier, but you have an idea of what that frame is gonna kind of
from the moment I'm
encompass
painting it,
around.
I'm painting. If I'm painting like a pirate piece and I'm painting, cannon straps, I'm like, okay, if I put the straps on there, okay. I mean, it's literally it's happening. The frame's being built as I'm painting, because I'll be using a bolt or I'll use a wooden shape of. I'm like, oh, I can make that. Okay, and basically the frame is building itself as I'm painting the piece. They're hand in hand. When I'm done, I know what the frame's going to be. It's just a matter of me putting it together.
Have you ever looked into like 3D printing for frames? That way you could get even more kind of outrageous and.
I love the idea. It's one of those things where I would use a ton of it for the trinkets and the kind of the pieces, but the problem is you start to get overlap. When you start to use too many things at once, it becomes like the doodad you want to add on there. It's like,
yeah.
If I learn to weld, my next 20 frames would be metal. So you got to make sure that you kind of dabble in bits and pieces.
Right.
I think tons of applications for me for 3D printing, but it's just a matter of I can only do so much. I can only get to so many things. I need things I can count on lasting forever, museum quality, archival quality, and some of these things will need to be cast in resin for me to have that confidence that they would stay the same and not potato chip 10 years from now.
Right.
So it's do what I know will last, but always keep an ear open, and I'm always open to new technologies and new. I've kind of learned to cast my own stuff and do my own molds, and from the same kind of YouTube videos. Okay, well, let me try that. That didn't work. Let me try it again. Kind of learning those techniques because I like to mix it up. And trial and error is how you figure those things out. Like we said, you got to be crappy at stuff.
Right. Well, you said you're not a blacksmith, but you never know. 20 years from now, they might have a metal 3D printer.
Seriously, again, they already do. There's a bike company that actually casts titanium parts 3D printed, custom to your specs. So it's already happening.
With titanium.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. Rachel Atherton, her Atherton bikes, they basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so your tube sets are all standard, but you can actually decide what your angle is, and they just print it out, and there you go, and bolt it on.
Yep.
That's the first I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's the whole new world, man.
Well, her bikes just came out as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is weeks old.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'll have to check those out.
So, you seem to really get around a lot, and you seem to know a lot of things. One question that we like to ask everyone towards the end is, what have you learned throughout all your research for your projects that's just random, out of the blue, or interesting that you would like to share?
I learned that this guy will not share screen time.
He's so excited, though.
Yeah.
Come here. Come on up again. So, say hi. There you go. I know. He's like, why are you still in here?
Split Skin. That name.
I know. I thought about your question before, and while I have simple facts that I've learned, I think the facts that have been most amazing to me have been the stories people have shared about the art with me that I didn't know. It's the tidbits, the facts that I thought I researched, but the facts were released to me after the painting was finished. I did this one painting of a Spitfire pilot, and I was showing it, and this guy came over, and he's like, I lived in London. I was 7 years old when a Spitfire at the Battle of Britain, a Spitfire pilot crashed in my neighborhood. My dad and I ran over there, and I watched them try and pull him out while the fire was burning all around them, and they couldn't get him out. And at 9 years old, I watched this British pilot perish in front of me. And it was very emotional, but he was saying how much it meant to him these pilots aren't forgotten. Those kind of little tidbits to me always seem to trump anything I think of, anything I learn. Like these little moments people share with me that is inspired by the art always seems to trump anything. It's just amazing little detail they give me that kind of goes, oh, that's why I did it. I didn't know when I started the painting that's why, but now I feel like that's why, I shared this painting at this moment with this person. That's kind of the random facts. That's kind of the bits and pieces I didn't know were going to happen. That's kind of, to me, what the most amazing little bits and pieces are. A little different than your normal random facts, but that's kind of, to me, what I look for and hope to find.
Great.
Yeah.
I love your interpretation of random fact. That's perfect, but wow.
That's really interesting.
To that.
Yeah, it's I didn't again, it's one of those you don't know going into art that would be things you'd get. They're not like no teacher said, hey, when you're painting art, people are going to share the life story with you about what you're painting. They don't tell you that part.
It's actually really interesting. My dad's from England, and his favorite teacher in the world was a former Spitfire pilot. So I'm going to have to check out that piece because that might be his birthday's in July. So we're going to have to check that out.
Well, and I always tell the funny story. The flip side to that conversation is I was painting a BF 109 from a famous fighter ace from Germany. So I'm painting this piece, and and this woman comes running from behind me, and she's going, Germany, Germany, and she's like 4 feet high. She's 126 years old, and she's just like, oh, Germany, that's us, that's me. And I'm like, again, she's sharing her father was a pilot in the war, and she's sharing the stories with me, and she's like, we were so close to winning. I'm like, you were, okay, thank you. But she's just sweet about the whole thing, and just to have that, he knew the pilots, like that interaction was just, to have that connection to a piece I'm doing is, you don't get that sitting at home painting. That's one of those things. From being out there in the real world, sharing your art is something you get that you don't get, alone.
No, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you for sharing that. That was
no problem. I will talk till everyone leaves the chat.
As the night goes on, we seem to be gaining people.
Yeah.
So you might be talking for a while.
The only thing left on the internet's right now, still going.
So how about that 30-second challenge? Or no, wait, it's the 60-second challenge.
60-second challenge now, yeah.
Now I was gonna keep waiting till it's 2 minutes.
Then
we got to keep it challenging.
You've listened to a couple of the episodes, so you're aware that
I'm prepared to fail at this. Yeah, this is gonna be good.
I'm so curious to see how you'll execute being a traditional artist.
Poorly, but we'll try. And I got a pen, so there is no pencil escape. It is line down, line capture.
Oh.
All right.
So usually we leave it up to chat to decide on a subject for our guests to draw. If anyone in chat has any ideas.
Yeah, that's how ninja hamsters happen.
That is how ninjas happen.
How those things happen.
Or burger boys.
We are serious about that calendar, though.
Yes.
We do.
That's funny. Yeah.
So does anybody in chat that might be tuned in live want to suggest maybe a subject or something for the 60-second challenge? Don't be shy.
We do have a slight delay with chat, so sometimes it takes a second.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Yep.
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Oh.
I did a Bob Ross painting years ago. It's a Viva La Ross, and he was like a gangster, so he has like a low style headband. And he's doing LA symbol with his hands. Yeah.
God.
Cross with paintbrushes and stuff. Yeah.
Day of the Dead Bob Ross.
Day of the Dead Bob Ross.
All right.
I feel like that's just like a skull with an afro.
It's a layup. It's a layup. It is really.
Jerry Garcia.
What do you want to go with then?
All right. Well, we
got Bob Ross, Day of the Dead Bob Ross, or Jerry Garcia so far.
Bob Ross is a layup.
Bilbo back.
Oh, I love those.
That's got my vote.
I do. I love hobbits. If I were in Lord of the Rings, I am a hobbit.
That's transitioning into fantasy right there.
I think Bilbo Bob Ross would be funny.
All right. Bilbo
Right.
Bob Ross.
Bilbo Bob Ross.
Robot chef.
Robot chef.
I'm totally regretting my using a straight up pen.
Yeah, no, let's combine those. I like Bilbo Bob Ross. Day of the Dead Bilbo Bob Ross.
All right, we'll put them all in there.
All right. You let me know when you're ready, and I'll start that stuff.
I was gonna cheat and have like a whole painting already done and be like, "Ta-da! 60 seconds." Yeah, that's
It's just it's a good idea to have chat come up with something.
Yeah, great idea.
Secretly, like, you guys didn't know I actually drew Bilbo Bob Ross.
Just planted a seed, mentioned Bob Ross enough.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Count me in. I'll just start cheating.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a countdown. Okay, I'll say 3, 2, 1, and then I'll tell you to start, and then you start when I say start.
Crap roll. All right. Yep.
You ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1, start.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
Yeah, this is feeling very stressed out. They gave me a 30-second count in too, so I know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you know.
I do like that we extended it to a minute. I feel like that gives them a little bit more time, but it's still challenging.
I feel like we need all the past guests back on just in case.
Right. I don't want to see what Clinton does in a minute. That'll be a finished painting.
Get something again from each of them. A minute long.
Bird already.
Nope.
Oh, already.
Oh, jeez.
20 seconds left.
Man.
49. 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
This was so
4,
short.
3, 2, 1. Pens down.
Man, that was tough.
All right. Oh my goodness.
That was like the fastest 60 seconds ever. That is terrible.
But it's so cute.
That's raw right there. There you go. Raw Ross. So
That's
Bilbo Bob.
Gandalf likes to vape. We all did, says Michaels. Yes.
I definitely cheated and added up 2 mountains behind him. There you go. Now we cheated. All right. Exactly.
We got to play the Misty Mountain song when we share it on Twitter.
Very short.
It is very short.
I don't know. What was 30 seconds? Jeez.
You shall not smoke, says Chris.
I like his shoes. His shoes give him the Hobbit vibe for sure.
Excellent. We should all mail you the originals and you can add that to the raffle too.
Oh man.
Let's do that.
For those who did it traditionally, heck yeah.
There's quite a few that did, so that would still work. I want to get in on it one day. We'll have to do it at the end of the year or something. Have a host 60-second challenge.
Oh, lucky us.
Mm.
Don't try and back out, Joe, because I know you can draw.
And by then it'll be like 5 minutes, so it'll just keep extending longer and longer as shows go on. Yeah.
From raw to finished product.
Well, now I'm feel pressured.
Oh no. Don't. I think that's absolutely perfect the way it is.
It's like,
right
okay,
there.
finished painting should come in the mail with full finished painting, full size, and a custom frame.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Joe, chat is saying muted.
I had the stream muted.
Oh, okay.
But they should hear it on the other one.
Okay.
It's because they were picking on me. Because I took an opportunity to
So
take
you
one
muted
little vape, and it's right next to the mic, and it was like, and I look over at chat, and I'm like, vape. I'm like, this has got to be active somewhere on this mixer. And when I saw the bar, I'm like, yep, love you all so much.
Why you get picked on? It's reciprocated.
Yep.
All right.
But no, yeah, that would be that's a great idea to have all the traditional artists, send their pieces, and at the end of the year do a raffle
Yeah,
to
for
add
sure.
even more to the charities and everything.
Hmm.
That would be that's a great idea, David. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
we'll
for
follow up and we'll
suggesting
do
that.
that. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Maybe we should actually let other artists know ahead of time whenever we're doing these episodes. Like, hey, if you do this traditionally, you can donate this and we'll raffle it. So they know ahead of time, and if they want to do it, they'll do it.
They'll do it. You don't give
Yeah.
them a chance. You give them a choice. You're coming on. This is your fee. We're gonna talk about you for 2.5 hours. The least you can do is give us a 60-second drawing, you bastards. That's what you tell them.
So Kevin and Chaz saying he is still interested in having you design his band's album cover. You're literally his favorite artist.
Well, I appreciate that, Kevin. Yeah, I appreciate all you
Cheers,
have me on
Kevin.
here. You might be with a different band by the time it rolls around, but how's your solo career? Is that on the horizon? Because we can plan for that. But that's awesome. I appreciate that, Kevin. That means a lot. Again, it's always amazing. I think that's why you can talk about being able to hear those interactions. This is the time we live in where we can talk to people that we are interested in. It's just really a fortunate way for us to be able to get that feedback as an artist. It's like, what more do you want? You want to work today? It's too tough for you to draw. Well, someone cares about what you're doing, so get out there and draw.
It's got to be incredibly rewarding for every artist to hear those sort of interactions, and it's got to be a great motivator as well.
Mm-hmm. It's like the best pressure you could have. It's like people, my little tiny little voice, my tiny little block. People care what's going on in my head. These little weird drawings I'm making, somebody cares about. It's what's better than that? You just didn't get better.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you again so much for doing the 60-second challenge. That Bilbo Bob Ross came out amazing. Closing remarks or questions. One question that Ruby came up with a while back was, and I love this question too, but when you're not live, at a convention or, painting live, and you're in your studio, what do you listen to? Do you listen to music or audiobooks while you're painting, or do you like the silence? Like, what sort of atmosphere do you like?
Can't do silence because the voices in my head would make me crazy. I'm definitely and same with audiobooks. I can't listen to one person tell a story. It's weird. I have just it freaks me out. For me, the most common thing, unfortunately, is like the same 5 movies. So if you walk into my studio, the chances of one of these movies playing is about 90%, which would be Alien, Aliens 2, or Aliens,
I love
Thing,
it so much.
Escape from New York, hence Liskin, and then probably Predator. It's like a tie between Predator and then seeing that, or Evil Dead 3, which is Army of Darkness.
Oh.
That's like those are the most common 5 things you'll see you're playing, and to the point where I don't even look up anymore because I don't need to, because
it's playing in your head. You already know.
And Alien, the original is probably the best because there's literally like 2 pages of dialogue. There's nothing but ambient sounds for like 2 hours. So it's perfect in that weird, quiet kind of way. So those are the most common. My girlfriend was, hey, want to watch a series, something new, binge watch? I'm like, nah, I'll be in there watching Aliens if you want to come watch it with me. That's what's going on.
My family, I come from is really big into movies. I'm really big into movies. My father was a gamer from as long as I can remember. I mean, Commodore 64. I mean, the original Pong. Like, he had everything. But he's always been a movie buff. And our house he built back when VHS was the thing. We had over 300 videos on this bookcase, or this entertainment center that was 15 feet long, that he built himself, that had all these videos that he would rent it and then he would record it, and then he would record 3 movies on one VHS. But I got my first exposure to a scary movie was actually The Thing, and I love it. I have this personal connection with my father and that movie so much that it's just one of my favorite movies of all time. But growing up also, Escape from New York, classic. I mean, that my father, I can still hear him in the back of my head going, "This is Snake Plissken. This is one of the most iconic characters in cinema." And he really is. And Aliens, my father still goes on about Aliens. Aliens 2 is one of our family's most favorite movies. I mean, I could be visiting my parents' house around any holiday, and my dad will go, "You want to watch a movie?" "Sure." "I got the director's cut of Aliens 2 downstairs already in the DVD player. You want to
Already
watch
queued
it?"
up.
And the director's cut is great because there are certain notes in the movie that you don't get from like either the cable version or just the standard version, with like the Gatling guns when they're locked down in the lab and they're setting everything up. You don't get that, and just hearing that you use those as background, and that is just so awesome.
Well,
David.
And it starts the best discussion of name a second movie that's better than the first. It starts the whole fight. So basically, that only happens a few times. So I always defend Alien as the main one because it's the first. So I think it should, but it's not better than 2. I think 2 probably beats it in overall side by side, which only happens in a few other movies. Now they're all here.
Both of them barge in.
Only happens in a few movies where that happens. I think Aliens is one of the 2 that switches like that. Mad Max also another one that the 2 is better than 1. That's the kind of way those things go. It's a tough do.
The Road Warrior. I'm a huge Mad Max fan. Oh, love it.
The dogs are calling the ball.
Well, all right. Well, we're not going to tie you up. Thank you so much for spending the last 2.5 hours with us. Is there any, before we leave, is there any tips or suggestions to help encourage aspiring artists that we might not have touched, or you might want to, reiterate on before we close out?
Most important, try everything. Try all the different mediums. Don't fall in love with something. Try everything, to see. And the second is to keep your sketchbook with you. Just keep that part of the brain intact through jobs, through, parts of your life where you're not as artistic, getting to the art as much as you want. And each page is just a fragment. Don't have to be finished paintings. It's just like a journal of lines. Keep it with you and just keep that part of the brain intact through parts of your life where art may not be a priority. If it matters to you, keep that part engaged, because 10 years from now, or for me, 8 years after, you may come back to that and wish you'd kept that part of the brain in shape.
Great. That's great.
Again, and thank you guys for having me. This has been really fun. I hope you come back again. It's just kind of a fun time.
We'd love to have you back.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even ask anything on sculpting, and there's so much I want to ask.
Yeah.
For sure. I gladly come back again. It's just super fun. I don't get to do this much, so it's fun to kind of share some of the scars that we've came across and copyright violation stuff we talked about. We haven't even got to some of those subjects, so there's a ton more that we could definitely talk about. So we'll definitely do this again.
Absolutely.
Look forward to it. Absolutely. Welcome anytime. You could be the guest host, and I'll sit one out.
I'd rather make fun of you. It's more fun from this side.
Thanks. All right, before we leave, where can people find you and more of your art? And do you have any upcoming events?
So online, davidlozeau.com, but the site has everything. But watching me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all of the general stuff. You can see me on all those. That's probably the best place to see things done live. I share just about snakes art. It's all apparently on the pages. But I'll be at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. I'll be there for live painting the whole time, and then I'll be in Gilroy at the Garlic Festival after that.
Nice.
And then if you're in Southern California, the month of September, I'll be at the Wonderground Gallery in Disney for my artist in residency. So I'll be there every Friday and Saturday painting at Disney. So swing on by.
That is awesome. Awesome.
And
That's
you're all
keeps you busy.
jealous that I have direct access now. I'm like an hour from Disneyland, so it's easy.
Oh, there you go.
Tyler will be
I
there.
expect to see you there then. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. This has been really fun.
All right, and everybody, thank you for tuning in and listening to Pixels After Dark. We'll see you next time.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Dogs say good night too.